Hi, so in today's video, we will be creating a small GPT, or I am calling this as nano GPT, which can actually run on your computer device. Before we go anywhere in the code, it will actually work on your computer without you have to pay for your service for OpenAI. This is for educational purpose, and it will only work on a very small scale. But yeah, you can get a glimpse of it how things will work like okay on your personal computer. So if you want to have it fancy that you want to run it on a terminal, that will work like this. I've asked some few questions, and sometimes it was annoying me with what I was actually asking. I told it to remember my name, it didn't. So don't think like it's fully like a GPT. You can go through it. Let's go back to the video. Now the prerequisite of this video is, as I said, first and foremost we will be using Flan T5, the base model here. They have other models also. They have Excel, then they have the XXL model also. We will not be using this, but if you have your personal computer, I will suggest to go with the pace. You can also try with the Excel. It all depends upon the response time. Get started with this code. Let's prepare our terminal. So I've created a directory called GPT here. I have actually created a virtual environment and I've renamed it as CUDA. And then in my Windows, I've actually activated this by directly dragging that bat file in the scripts. The virtual environment is activated. Go ahead and install in that virtual environment itself, install the transformers. Now this might take some time for you. It will go through all of this installation, and once you are done with the installation, that's it. Now the next thing is lastly which we need is some Web3 torch. Click on the get started here, go to the start locally, and here you can select your stable version, and I have selected Windows here, package pip, language Python, and computer platform I have selected 11.8. Now from here we don't want the torch vision and torch audio. Copy this one, you can have this. Without the torch audio and torch video vision, you can directly go with the URL. Once you have done the installation, it will go through around 2.6 gig of download, and that's where you can get started. Next, we will be starting building our GPT here. First, we will import sys here. So since we will be using inputs from the user, so a terminal GPT, right? We will be using sys here. From we will be using the transformers which we have just imported, and from there we will be importing something called auto tokenizer. Let's say we have a line here right now. The line says like what is the color of this is our question. Now we will use a model name here. I'm using a model name here, and I'm copying the same one which as I said I will be using Google Fan T-Base. So I'm just pasting the model name here. Now we will create a tokenizer here. This will be auto tokenizer. Okay. Here we will be using from pretrain the model name. So it will be tokenizing the text from this. We are using the tokenizer. Now just to show you what this tokenizer text might look like. So let's say if I create tokens here and I use tokenizer dot convert here. If I in the tokens here, let me just close this up. Now let me just py nano GPT. As you can see, we have the tokens. So tokens is nothing but there is some error. Here we have to import the line. Let's try to py. As you can see, we have tokenized the words, but in short, they doesn't require this. We actually convert these tokens into ID. So if I say UID, so it is basically tokenizer dot convert tokens to IDs. Then we can pass these tokens. If I do a PY nano GPT, you can see if I print the IDs here, so we have got the IDs. We can also do it in just one line. We can use something called tokens is equals to tokenizers, and we can pass the line directly to here, and then we can say the return type. Return tensor is equals to PT. PT is nothing but the PyTorch which we just installed. It will automatically convert our words to tokens and tokens into ID. It takes one step further by converting them into the tensor format. It converted the same, but it converted into a tensor format which we actually need to generate the output. Now, the next thing is we also need something called model. We need auto mode for SQ. We will require this to have our model defined from pre-trained, and I will just type the model name here. You might be asking why I've used this. We will be using this model to get the output from. So let's create for line in sales dot. We will be returning the outputs here. So the first thing for that particular line, we have given the tokenizer. With this tokenizer, we will require the outputs from this model which we have just created. We will call the generate method here. From this generate method, this token returns our dictionary here. We will take the directly values and parameters from here from these tokens. Okay, we will unpack it in short. Then let's what we do is generation config. From this generation config, we can pass something called config here. Okay. This config is something which I will come back to later on. Why we need it, I will also tell you that. What we can do is from this output, right, which we are actually expecting the answer, you will be getting in a tensor chart, just like how we have tensor formats. Or just you will get the answers also like this. So this is not human readable, as I said. It will not result into the human readable. Okay. Now to convert this into human readable, we use our tokenizer again. We will call them like batch decode here. And then we will pass the outputs here. So what is the color of sky? We'll give something called blue. There is something error which we see here, right? Now to remove this error only, we have to pass the configs here. What we can do is like this warning which you see, right? So for to do that, we can after this token we can pass the generation. We can pass something called config. Let's just name it as config. This config will have something called generation config, another class from here. Let's paste it. It has a number of parameters. We will be actually using the max new tokens. I will give the max new tokens to 200. Once we have passed it, let's rerun it. Even if we ask some question to it, it is giving some special characters. We don't want that, so we can do skip special tokens. Let's make it true. Close this CLS. Now let's rerun it. Now let's ask it a different question better. Taste of apple. So Earth is which planet? Venus. There are things like that. A human sleeps on what? A bed. A bed has how many legs? Let's see if we can understand a non-living thing with a living thing legs. But yeah, we don't understand well. So you can ask with it. You can let me know how the video was. So that's it, guys. We have created a nano GPT out of for our personal computer. We will be learning more in the coming videos. So don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you.